justice has to be done, and the government has to be the one that implemented this kind of justice into the society in the right way. And then, as the third speaker of the negative side of the house, I have few points of rebuttal that I'm going to analyze about this debate. And then, but first, let me tell you about the clash that happened in this debate today. The clash is only one: whether or not we should give compensation and release the inmates and ex-inmates who are doing a crime that is not considered a crime anymore. And then, first of all, I want to clarify that this kind of condition is happened because the time is changed, because of many factors, because of many possibility. And then the first speaker of the affirmative side of the house stated that it is the government fault, it is the government responsibility because of happens in this time today. So the government has to give apologize, and then the government has to be compensation. But we say no, because it is not, actually it is not the responsibility of the government itself. The government itself cannot predict what happens in the future, right? Even the government itself cannot predict the future, what kind of society change will that be. And then first of all, first thing is the government is the reflection of the citizen itself, and then the government just do what the citizen demands is. And then the government is only providing them the right, and then the citizen itself is doing their obligation towards the government itself. And then it's not the government fault because of what happens in this debate today. It's not government fault. So first of all, government has has no obligation to give compensation itself. And then the second is why it is not suitable for us to implement this kind of motion is because they are the inmates itself, the inmates and ex-inmates itself, they're doing that in the past. And then the past is different from the present time itself. Why it is different? Because the time itself, first of all, it is the time that changed the way of the society thinks, and then the way of maybe the government handle of the crime itself is different. For example, I give you an example for abortion itself. Why abortion in the past considered a crime, and then why abortion now is not considered a crime anymore? It's because of many factors. Because at the past, the abortion itself, we see abortion in the past as uh, violating the human right of the baby itself. So it just same as the killing the baby itself. But now we don't see that as a crime anymore, right? Because it's the change of the mindset of the society itself. So it's not, first of all, it's not the fault of the government. And then the second thing is they deserve to be punished because they do that in that period, which is different from this period. In that period, they deserve to be punished because they do that they do that wrong action in that time, and then it will cause harm too in that time, right? So because of it cause harm in that time, we consider to punish them. But now it is not causing harm anymore, so we erase that crime in the law itself. And then why the inmates should necessary to be still punished is because the inmates itself is being underestimating the law itself. They are not following the government orders itself. They are they are underestimating the law in that time. So that's why, beside that wrong action, we have to still punish them because they are not following the law itself in that time. And then we see that there that are many factors that happen in this kind of condition. So we have to be wise. We have to show we are we can do this in the right way. And then the second speaker of the government side of the house stated that we have to give them compensation, we have to give them apologize because the because first of all, the government itself can be portrayed as a hero. can be portrayed as the protector of the minority itself, but we say no. We say no because of what? Because first of all, we have to consider them is not we have to consider them still as a crime in that time and not a crime in this present time, because the government itself is still cannot be portrayed as a government. How come the government itself can be portrayed as a government when the government is not inconsistent, is really inconsistent uh, to implement the justice in the country itself. So that's why it is bad for the future, because in the future the society will see that government is inconsistent and that there will be many crimes that will happen in the future. And then uh, there and then for example, I give you a logic to when you still insist to do this kind of motion in the country itself, it will be still hampering the society itself, because when we use the logic of the motion itself, for example, in the future, assuming possibility there are new laws that forbid us to use smartphone, for example. So when the future is still like that, if we if the future is still like is like that, are we going to punish the people that use smartphone in the past time? For example, we say no because in the past time there are no kinds of law that we can predict it, so we don't know, so it is still a crime, right? So in the past maybe the people don't know about the future, so it is still wrong, and then it's still deserve to be punished. And then uh, the government itself, it's still the reflection of the citizen itself. When the government say that something is wrong, something has to be considered a crime, it's still the society demands, and then it's still what the citizen is really want, and then the government never do things beside the society wants.